You know, Mr. Barr has got a bill that deals with outbound investments, which I think is probably the best answer to what we're talking about here this morning. And I'm going to try and set the stage for him he's very eloquent and a whole lot smarter than I am. So I'm going to set the stage for him this morning with regards to some of my questions. But each of you this morning made a comment with regards to emphasizing the fact that we need to have a strategy. We need to understand how we can curtail investment in China in a way that protects the United States as well as hurts the Chinese as much as possible. So, Mr. Feddo, in your illustrious career here, you've been working with different sanctions and export controls. It would appear to me that we need to be able to work with our allies to make those sanctions and export controls effective. Can you explain to me how that can happen? Is it happening? Do we have a plan?
I don't know whether it's happening or we have a plan, but of course, any of these economic statecraft tools, in my opinion, are better and more effective if there is a multilateral approach. For example, in the course of implementation of FIRMA and the expansion of CFIUS authorities, we spent a great deal of time encouraging other countries to develop similar screening mechanisms for inbound capital that could pose national security risks. And so that is something that I think makes these sorts of economic statecraft tools more effective.
You know, it appeared to me, and I say this all the time, that the more you enhance the China economy, the better you're feeding the beast that's going to eat us at some point. And so to me, this is really, really important that we get this right, that we understand that we need to minimize our investment there and find a way to slowly decouple ourselves from Chinese investment and Chinese trade. But doing that is the trick. And one of the things that came up this morning in our Chinese Select Committee was the fact that Chinese economy is slowing. You know, yesterday or day before, the court in Hong Kong told Evergrande, one of the largest real estate companies in China, to start liquidating. The whole Chinese economy is teetering right now from the standpoint demographically they're in trouble. The real estate market is collapsing. And a lot of the trade with the rest of the world is going down, other than the automobile industry that we saw yesterday with a meeting that we had that's going up. So the question, I guess, is how dangerous is China if we weaken them? Does that entice them into reacting more aggressively against China, or against Taiwan, or continuing to build up relationships with Iran and Russia, or is it because they can get fat and happy, so to speak? Does that enable them to sort of sit back and be more predictive whenever they're trying to do something else? Mr. Hsu, would you like to answer that question?
That is certainly the risk that should be contemplated in whatever strategy we pursue. It's important to know that China has definitive red lines that they will not veer from. Taiwan, for example. My sense is, from a U.S. strategy point of view, a desired outcome would be a China that is in many ways dependent on the U.S. In some ways they are. There's technologies that they don't have and we do. We should seek to grow that dependency. It allows for commerce to occur, but it also ensures that it is not a level playing field. That is, to me, the sort of balance that could strike, if you will, a compromise between pushing China too far in either direction.
You know, one of the things that came out of the meeting this morning, Secretary Burnett made a comment that not only do we want to try and deter and sort of hit the Chinese economy, but we have to make sure our economy is strong as well. And you kind of hit on that a little bit. If we make them dependent on us, it helps us to be stronger as well. And he also made a comment with regards to we either provide leadership or we govern by crisis. That's a pretty interesting comment. It means we got to start leading instead of following. We have to provide leadership, especially in something like this. We need to set parameters. Mr. Feddo, would you comment just for a second with regards to the regime and sanctions that are Mr. Barr's bill? Do you like those? Do you think it's going to work?
I do. Most of my written testimony is about the benefits of using economic sanctions to tackle this problem, because fundamentally it's about modifying the conduct of U.S. persons, right? It's not about the fungible money, it's about what comes with it. And so what we're trying to do is modify or deter or change behavior of U.S. persons to eliminate what comes with that money, the services, essentially, all of the experience and the like that comes with those funds.
Thank you.